everybody. Today I want to talk about one of my paintings, specifically this painting. When I posted this painting on Instagram, I write the description. I just started with a new watercolor technique and it's not bad. But actually, this is not the first painting. Actually, this is the second one. The first painting I made was this one. This portrait is the marvelous Valeria Ayos, Miss Universe Colombia 2021. And specifically when I started doing portraits with watercolor, it was very difficult to me because I just was doing watercolors paintings about landscapes and easy things to draw, but starting with portraits was a little bit difficult, specifically at the beginning because, as I said before, I was doing landscapes and doing photorealistic portraits with pencil colors and charcoal pencils. So for me, this is for me this for me this was so challenging, and I started watching videos about how to painting and how to draw and how to use watercolor paintings in portraits. So when I started, I do a minimalistic portrait about of Valeria Ayos. So it was very easy to me to paint with charcoal and do the minimalistic style. And at the beginning, it was very easy. But when was trying to paint my my portrait in black and white, it was so difficult because you had to do many layers to embellish your painting. First of all, you have to balance the contrast between colors and the lines that you do after you painting all the portrait. I refer in these lines when you just finish, you have to this is some this is kind of minimalistic, but those lines gives you give 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 them uh, extra detail to make it more beautiful. So these lines I did it with pencil colors, and you, you have to choose the color skin tones with your pencil colors to do not spoil your paintings. So first of all, I just started mixing the the clear the colors with some water, and then to taste and then to test those colors in order to verify if those colors are the proper for the portrait. So when I found the proper colors, I started the painting, painting my portrait. So I remember that I did about seven 7 layers to make it colorful, but it was a little bit, I feel, actually, I feel very desperate because I was so, I was so used to make realistic portraits, and I wanted to do the same with watercolor paintings. So it was I don't know how to explain it. It was something when you collapse my thoughts with the new ones collapsed, and I had to accept the reality because I wanted to do a minimalistic portrait with watercolor paintings, but actually it doesn't look like as like a minimalistic portrait. So when I finish this portrait, I feel very happy with the result, but not at all, because I wanted to do a realistic portrait with watercolors when actually the technique is not about realistic portraits. So the first step I took was accept that this is a new technique I want to practice and improve. So this is the first, and I did it only for practice my technique, and I didn't post it on Instagram. So when I did the second one, which is this, this is the most beautiful portrait because I did other portraits uh, of Pure Wordspat, Alisa, I don't remember her last name, and Miss World 2021, Carolina, and other beautiful Filipina girl. So this is the portrait of Miss World Malaysia 2021, and it looks very realistic. It's my favorite, and I still and I don't and I don't remember how I made it. So I just remember that I was very fresh, and the day was perfect for me because I didn't have a lot of things to do. I have plenty of time to practice my technique, but actually it doesn't look like a practice. Is is I don't know how to explain it, but it was so out of the blue because I expect bad results, bad outcomes, but actually this was unexpectedly. So I so day by day, I'm still trying how I did it, how many layers I did to make it possible. And if you look the picture on Instagram, you will realize how detailed the portrait is. So take a look a little bit of this portrait. It looks like if I did it with pencil colors when actually don't. So this is my first experience doing watercolor portraits, but I have other ones such as this with pencil colors and this with pencil colors. Both are realistic portraits, but specifically photorealistic portraits because when you see it, it looks like a photo. Even when you touch it, it feels like a photo when actually it's a Bristol paper. So I hope you actually, hopefully, I wanted to do watercolor and even um, realistic drawing tutorial to show do my how I do my portraits, not only my portraits, but also the landscapes I I did and how I started how I started how I start collected my paintings because at the beginning of my passion or my talent I used to refuse my paintings and even burn them because uh, I didn't love my work and I saw it saw them as a frustrating thing because my paintings didn't show my feelings because back in time I I felt depressed and but never sad, only depressed. And so I was a depressed guy in that in them. So those are when I made it, but my folder started in 20, in 2017, but I want to show this in other videos. So thank you for listening up, and I hope you to do a video showing how I do my watercolor paintings.